Ethan Ramirez, 38, had spent the last 10 years building a life in the heart of Seattle, a city as dynamic and ambitious as he was, a driven entrepreneur. He poured his energy into his growing business and shared his world with his wife, Isabella. At 34, she was a rising star in marketing, sharp and confident, admired for both her brilliance and beauty. Together, they had 2 young children, a boy and a girl, and to the outside world, they were the picture of success. Friends often envied their seemingly perfect life, praising their bond, their balance, their bright future. But something had shifted. Over the past 6 months, Ethan began to sense a quiet distance growing between them. Isabella was more distracted, her attention often fixed on her phone. She claimed it was work, late meetings, networking dinners, the occasional girls' night out. At first, Ethan believed her. He wanted to. Still, the smile she reserved for her phone, the sudden secrecy around her messages, and her ever-expanding schedule started to wear on his peace of mind. Friends reassured him, all marriages go through seasons, stress, kids, careers, it takes a toll. But when Ethan lay awake at night, listening to Isabella breathe softly beside him, doubt crept in like a cold draft beneath a closed door. Then came the invitation. Luke, Isabella's boss, a polished, 40-year-old tech CEO, was throwing a private networking event at his penthouse overlooking downtown Seattle. Ethan didn't know him well, but he knew the type, suave, commanding, always in control. Luke was the kind of man who wore his confidence like cologne, bold and unmistakable. There was something unsettling about the way Luke interacted with Isabella. His touch lingered a moment too long. His compliments seemed a shade too personal, but Ethan brushed it off. After all, what man invites a married couple to a party if he's secretly involved with the wife? Still, a voice deep inside whispered, "Stay alert." The night of the party was dazzling. Luke's penthouse boasted floor-to-ceiling windows that framed the glittering skyline. Jazz floated through the air, and glasses of champagne sparkled in the hands of Seattle's elite. Isabella was radiant in a black dress that turned heads the moment she entered. Ethan, standing beside her, couldn't help but feel a flicker of pride. And yet, that gnawing unease persisted. She glided through the crowd with ease, pausing to chat, to laugh, to charm. Luke, as always, was magnetic. Ethan watched the 2 of them interact closely but found no obvious red flags. Until about an hour in. Isabella leaned in, smiled, and said she needed to catch up with a friend, somewhere quieter. Ethan nodded. He wanted to trust her, needed to, but something about the way she left, casual yet deliberate, made his pulse quicken. He waited. 10 minutes passed, then 15. Unable to sit with the uncertainty any longer, Ethan slipped away from the crowd and wandered through the penthouse. He passed through quiet corridors and open rooms, finally stepping into a secluded garden terrace bathed in golden light. That's when he heard it. 2 voices, low, casual, and unaware of his presence. One he instantly recognized, Luke's, smooth, arrogant, slightly slurred from alcohol. The other belonged to a man Ethan didn't know. But the words hit like a punch to the gut. "I don't know how she does it. Man, Isabella can slip out of her husband's arms and into mine like it's nothing. Last weekend? That hotel by the waterfront? Unreal." Ethan's world tilted. Had he heard that right? Frozen in place, heart hammering, he edged closer, silent as shadow. Then the second man asked a question that made Ethan's blood run cold. "Does her husband know anything? I mean, you're playing with fire here, man," the other voice remarked. Luke's reply was calm, almost too confident. "Nah." Ethan's too wrapped up in his business to even notice. "Besides, Isabella knows how to keep secrets. She's smarter than most of the women I've been with." Ethan's hands trembled, his worst fears unfolding in real time. His wife, the woman he trusted more than anyone, was having an affair with her boss. The way Luke spoke about her, as though she were nothing more than another fleeting conquest, burned Ethan with a quiet, seething rage. But Ethan wasn't the type to act impulsively. No, he was a man of strategy. He would wait. He stayed hidden, listening to the full extent of their betrayal. Over the next few minutes, he pieced together the painful truth. Their affair had been ongoing for nearly 6 months, secret hotel rendezvous, late-night calls, and business trips that were nothing more than convenient excuses for their meetings. By the time Ethan slipped away from the garden, his mind was racing, his stomach in knots. That night, he returned home with Isabella, playing the role of the loving husband. He smiled, made small talk, and even shared a few laughs. But inside, his thoughts were already focused on a single goal. He needed evidence, cold, hard proof. Over the next few days, Ethan transformed into a man driven by purpose. He was careful, meticulous, and patient. He installed tracking apps on Isabella's phone, hacked into her email accounts, and even hired a private investigator. For the next 2 weeks, the evidence poured in: text messages between Isabella and Luke, photos of them at hotels, phone records that confirmed what he'd overheard at the party. Each new piece of information chipped away at Ethan's heart, but with every discovery, his resolve grew stronger. He wouldn't just confront her. No, he would make sure that when the truth finally came to light, it would be unforgettable. A month later, Luke threw another event. This time, Ethan knew it would be the perfect opportunity for his revenge. The party was bigger, more glamorous, more high-profile. Ethan arrived with Isabella, playing the role of the doting husband while she remained blissfully unaware of what was coming. Halfway through the night, Ethan excused himself from a conversation, telling Isabella that he was going to make a toast. She smiled at him, completely unaware of the storm about to unfold. When Ethan took the microphone, the room quieted, all eyes on him. Isabella stood beside Luke, her smile faltering ever so slightly as Ethan's gaze locked onto hers. "I'd like to make a toast to my incredible wife, Isabella," he began, his voice calm and steady. "For 10 years, we've shared our lives, built a family, and created memories I thought would last forever." The room was still, the air thick with tension as Ethan continued. "But sometimes, life surprises you. Sometimes, the people you trust most turn out to have secrets they've been hiding." Isabella's face drained of color, her eyes wide with shock. She took a step forward, but Ethan raised his hand, stopping her in her tracks. "And tonight, in front of all of you, I'd like to share one of those secrets." With a simple press of a button, the large projector screen behind him flickered to life. The room gasped as photos of Isabella and Luke appeared, pictures of them sneaking into hotels, text conversations between them, and even audio recordings of their late-night calls. Ethan had left no stone unturned. Isabella stood frozen, her face pale, while Luke attempted to slip away unnoticed, but the crowd had already turned on them. Ethan fixed his gaze on them, his voice steady, but laced with finality. "In the end, secrets never stay hidden for long, and now, everyone knows the truth." The fallout was swift and brutal. Within days, Ethan had filed for divorce, secured full custody of their children, and ensured that Luke's reputation was obliterated. The affair became public knowledge, and Luke was forced to resign amid the scandal. As for Isabella, she lost everything: her marriage, her social standing, and the trust of those who had once admired her. Ethan, on the other hand, found peace. He had rebuilt his life from the ashes of betrayal, stronger, more resilient, and free. In the end, the best revenge wasn't simply exposing the truth, it was reclaiming his happiness. What a journey! Thanks for joining us on this intense ride of betrayal and ultimate revenge. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and leave a comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And, of course, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you never miss another incredible story from Reddit Stories Unveiled. What would you have done if you were in Ethan's shoes? Let us know in the comments, and we'll see you next time.